Phone is something that we use in our everyday life. Talking to a friend during the walk, taking notes while reading a book, or even riding a bike and choosing what podcast to play. But we all gotta agree that the phone is a double-edged sword. It can be a total time waster, unless you know how to set it up correctly and which apps to use. It took me a while to figure out what apps are the most suitable for me. However, let me share with you my iPhone setup and what I have right here that helps me to use my phone a little bit more intentionally. I'm not gonna dive deep into each app because all of us are pretty much aware how the calculator or FaceTime works, right? But I'll try to tell you about the apps that I found the most interesting. So here's the wallpaper that I have right now, and here I have just the gradient, like a little green gradient, and then on the top I have Google Calendar widget to start off. There are three types of people when it comes to calendar. The first type doesn't use calendar at all. Second type of people only add some crucial events to the calendar, like going to the doctor for example. However, there's also a third type of people who are using calendar to the fullest. Basically, they're using the technique that is called time blocking, and it's basically blocking a specific periods of time in your calendar when you're gonna do a specific action. So let's look at my calendar right now. If I open it, you can see that from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I had work, GSW Telecom, that's where I work, and then from 4:30 to 5 p.m. I had to film this YouTube video. Obviously, I'm a little bit past due, so I can move it a little bit right here. So for example, from 5:30 to 6, I'm gonna be filming this YouTube video. And that is the main idea behind the time blocking. You have specific period of time dedicated for a certain task, and you know that you're not gonna be distracted and you're gonna be fully focused on this one task. Besides calendar, on the main screen I have FaceTime, calculator, photos, camera, nothing really special about the top row. But then we have notes, and I would like to stop here for a second. One of the biggest mistakes unproductive people do is they're trying to remember everything themselves. Our brain is not created for the storage of information, but rather usage of the information to figure out the solutions. All that being said, all of us have some brilliant ideas during the day coming to our head. So to be more productive, rather than remembering all of those ideas and trying to keep them in your head, put them into the Notes app. When you have the idea about that great cooking recipe you want to try, don't remember that. Just open the Notes app, click new note and just type new recipe, I want to try lasagna. And that's it. But besides that, let me tell you about the quick organization trick in Apple Notes that you might not have heard about. What you can do to keep your notes more organized, just swipe left, go left again, and create a new folder. Name it New Notes, for example, right? And then turn it into a smart folder. Click on tags and click any selected tags. And then you can add a tag, for example, cooking. That way, when you add a tag and save this folder, now let's say that you still want to add that lasagna recipe, but you want to organize it a little bit more. You can say new recipe, add lasagna here, for example, right? And then add a hashtag cooking that you just set up. After that, you can just click return and voila, this thing will appear into the new folder we just created because you gave it a hashtag cooking that you set up. After Notes, we have clock that everybody's using for timer, alarms, etc. Then we have Maps app. I prefer Apple Maps over Google Maps. You can do whatever you want. Then we have a Gmail, that's my main inbox. And then we have Google Drive and Slack. Slack is another app that I want to dive a little deeper into. It is an amazing business communication solution for teams. I'm using it for my team, for my business, and it basically acts like a messenger. So if you open it, the main benefit of the Slack that you have all these channels that you can divide messages into. So for example, I have Slav short form content channel, and if I go here, I'll have everything related to my short form content here. And then if I want something general to talk about to my editor, there's a general tab that we can talk about. And another cool feature of Slack, that there's something that is called threads. So let's go to the leads prospect channel, and when I open it and I want to reply to one of Alex's messages, I can just hold it, click reply and thread, and just click sure, take your time. And that way I'm not cluttering the chat, and I just created a separate thread where we can talk about that. Besides all of that, Slack is great because it has all the different type of integrations with Google Drive, Google Calendar, Notion, Loom, whatever you want. After Slack, we have YouTube folder with YouTube and YouTube Studio where I track analytics for my channel. Then we have social media folder with all the social medias you can think about. And then I have Notion, which is basically my brain inside of the phone. In a nutshell, Notion developers took note-taking app and project management app and put it into one thing. And the options with Notion are pretty much limitless. When you open Notion, I have something that I call Life OS, and it's basically my life dashboard. As you can see, I have a quote of the day here. Every action you take is a vote for the type of the person you wish to become. This is from Atomic Habits. Thank you, James Clear, for such a great quote. And then I have some reminders, I have some dashboard with different folders. I have my to-do list, so highlight of the day, I have film a new YouTube video, exactly what I'm doing now. And then I have review outstanding projects, which I already did today, so I'm gonna check it out. And then I have the secondary to-do list, so record some b-rolls outside and look for new leads. So I did look for new leads as well, so that can be checked out. But then you can go to all of those different folders, so let's open happiness for example. Here's my personal projects and I have my Slav YouTube dashboard here. I can go to Video Creative Cloud and go to posted videos for example. And here will be all the videos I posted recently, right? And take my 9 productivity essentials for example. If I open it, I'll have my script right here, I'll have a thumbnail idea, who is this video for, high level outline, etc, etc. Besides that, I use Notion for the storage of information about the stuff I read for example, so we can go to books, books cloud, and books, let's do books read for example. Then I can open die with 0 and I'll have the grade I gave this book, so A+ for example. I'll have all the notes related to this book, and that way I can access the information from my phone really quick and have it synced with the computer, because I have the desktop app of Notion on my computer, and then there's also a cloud app and all of different things you can do. Notion is free, but it also has a paid plan that will give you a little bit more benefits for like $8 a month I think. I'm using a free version, it's so much more than enough, and if you're not using Notion, you should definitely give it a try. The next app after Notion is Audible, and if you're a book nerd like me, you will definitely like it. I use Audible mainly when I commute to my day work and back, because it's like 25-minute ride on a bike, and sometimes very rarely I'll listen to some music during the way, but I like to put my headphones in and just listen to some audiobooks. And the best thing about Audible, when you are reading a physical book, you are limited to the speed that you can read with. However, if you're listening to the audiobook with the Audible, you can increase the speed of the playback to 1.3, 1.4, that's what I'm usually doing, and basically you're getting more information at the faster pace, so you're being more productive. When it comes to Audible, a lot of people are complaining about not being able to take notes while listening to the books. It does make sense, because obviously it's way harder to take notes while you're just listening to something. However, there's a way around it, and let's say you're listening to The Richest Man in Babylon. As you can see, I have the speed 1.3 here. I can just click to add a clip, and it will automatically save the 30-second clip, so 15 seconds back and 15 seconds forward, of the moment that I try to save right now. And then I can click on those 3 dots on the top right and go to the clips and bookmarks. And here I'll have a clip that I just saved. That way, when I'm done with the book, I can just come back to those notes, sit down, listen to them, and actually take some physical notes. Obviously, it makes the process a bit more harder, but that's the way that exists. But besides of that, if you're listening to fiction books like Harry Potter for example, you don't really need to take notes. There can be a quote or two that you like from the book, so you can just save it as a clip and you'll be golden. Right after Audible, we have a YouTube Music, and I know a lot of people are choosing Spotify for their music app, but I like YouTube Music, I'm loyal, I'm staying with it for over 3 years now, so that's my solution. If you open it, it's gonna look like every other music app. You're gonna have a library with your playlists, save musics and all of that, but the cool feature that they added recently is called samples, and if you go here, it's gonna be little cuts of the music clips, and you can just scroll and find some songs that you might like, and then you can just go to this song and listen to the full version of it. Another cool notes app that I'm using is called Otter. Same principle here. When some idea pops up in my head, I want to immediately document it. The biggest difference between Otter and Notes that you can actually speak to the Otter. What I mean is you can record your voice and will automatically transcribe it. So let's try it out. I'm gonna click record and I'm just gonna be talking to my phone and it will automatically be transcribing my voice into the text. I mean, it's super cool, and especially when I'm on a go and I don't want to actually type something in the notes, I'm just using Otter and it types a note for me. And the really cool feature in Otter that you can open your note after that and you can actually play it. Be talking to my phone and it will automatically be transcribing my... And there's some AI features, I'm not sure if they are available in a free version, that will summarize the note for you. So let's say you have a work meeting, you just put your phone, open Otter, it records the entire meeting, and then it will give you a summary of this meeting. So during the week, I usually have like 5-6 notes or whatever it is accumulated, and then during the weekend I actually sit down, listen to my notes, go through them, and add them to Notion, so to a bigger database. Free plan of Otter I think is limited to like 300 minutes per month, but trust me, it's more than enough. Now let's move to the second page, and the first thing I have here is DayOne, which is the best journaling app. Journaling itself has a lot of benefits. It can help you to gain self-confidence, improve writing and communication skills, reduce stress and anxiety, etc. I love journaling because it helps me to reflect on my own emotions and see the bigger picture of my life. I'm actually a big fan of physical journaling, but the problem with physical journaling was in the fact that I couldn't transfer my notes into the cloud and I needed to carry my journal everywhere with me. DayOne is absolutely amazing when it comes to this, because it allows me to write my notes through my phone or through my computer, as well as upload PDFs and scan them to my phone. That way I have all my journaling into one place. Developers are saying that all the data is safe and encrypted, and DayOne has a lot of cool features. So here you have a timeline with the different notes that I'm taking, then there's media with all the pictures that I upload there, there's a map that will show where I took different notes, and then there is a calendar that will remind me about some cool things that I did. So for example, on September 1st I started to plan my trip to the Humphreys Peak, and right here I have a little picture of that, I had a little text that I wrote about it, and you know, year from now when I have a notification, hey look, 1 year ago you was planning this trip, it's kinda cool because it's reminding you about all those memories you had and all the things that were going in your life at this point. This app comes with a subscription of $35 a year. Obviously for a lot of people that's a stop point, but in cases like this you just want to ask yourself a question. Am I ready to put $2 or $3 a month to put all my notes into the cloud, to have access to all the prompts, different pictures and all the other features? I was ready for that, so that's why I'm using this app. After that we have Duolingo, which you all know about. I'm using it to learn Spanish.
Y los Estados Unidos es lo suficientemente grande para todos.
I'm using a premium version because I was really serious about learning the new language. I really wanted to do that, so I wanted to skip all the ads and all the other things. That's why I decided to go with it. Next we have reminders, settings, PayPal, Discover and Wells Fargo. We all know what that is. So let's go to the next page. We have weather, utilities, built-in goodies. That's the folder I made in stocks, find me, all of that good stuff. Then we have wallet, podcast and Lightroom. Lightroom is basically a simplified version of the Photoshop. Obviously it will not let you do all the fancy things that the Photoshop allows additionally, but if you just want to color grade and color correct, it is an awesome app to use. It might take you a video or two to watch on YouTube to figure out what different effects mean, how to use exposure, how to use other things. However, after that, after you know some basics, you can literally bring your pictures to the next level. Let me show you some pictures that I did recently. So here's when I traveled to Phoenix and I took this photo that I really like. And if you look at the previous version, at the basic version, here's how it looked, and here how it looked after the color correction. And the same right here when we traveled to a wet beaver creek, that's the name of the hike it was. If I look at the original version, here how it looked, so colors were a little pale, sky was a little like whitish, and here how it looked after some color correction. After Lightroom we have an insight timer, and it's an awesome solution if you like meditation. When you just open the app, it greets you with a little quote of the day, so to live is the rarest thing in the world, most people like this, that is all. And then it brings you to the main screen where you have timer, sleep, breathe, workplace, new courses, etc. I love to make my meditation a little bit more fun, and that's why I sometimes search for a guided meditation. So if you go to guided meditation, it will bring you all the courses where someone gonna talk to you and tell you to relax, to do this or that, so that's kinda cool, that's what I prefer for myself. But if you don't like it, you have a beginner, meditation, breath work, sleep, so you have all these different modes you can explore. And then I just save the tracks I like and I can go back to them and listen to them again. Nothing really interesting after Insight Timer. We have Pinterest, Business Suite for Facebook posting, we have CapCut, which is a great solution for video editing, we have Amazon, Chase, Captions. Captions is really a cool thing. If you're a content creator and you're doing a lot of talking videos, Captions is an absolute necessity. So let me just quickly insert a clip of me where I explain how captions work and show you some examples. Here's me using the Captions app. You can see the captions right here that it generates, and it's such an amazing tool. Besides all of those cool things, the developers of Captions app heavily bet on AI, and if you click create, you can see import, camera, script, teleprompter, AI shorts, AI dubbing, so basically they can cut your long form videos into short form videos, they can translate your voice using AI, so if you're not a native English speaker, you can literally translate your native language into English. And there's so many more things you can do with it. Their eye tracking feature is absolutely insane. I mean, just look at it. Captions app come with a yearly fee of $55, I believe, but I'm using it literally every day, so it definitely pays off. After Captions app, we have Costco, My Water, which delivers water to me. Then we have Google Translate, Dashlane, and OneSec. And OneSec is a really cool thing that you probably never heard about. Have you ever had a feeling that you're using your phone unintentionally and you're basically turning into a zombie? I definitely had that feeling with Instagram when I was like a robot and just going to Instagram just to go there with no intentions. I just didn't have anything to do, so I was just going to Instagram like 50 times a day. And basically what OneSec allows you to do, you can go to your shortcuts and set an automation, so every time you're gonna open the app that you don't want to go to, the OneSec gonna launch something cool that will stop you from opening this app. So currently I have set it up for my Snapchat, and whenever I open the Snapchat right here, it will automatically bring the OneSec window, gonna ask me to take a deep breath in, take the deep breath out, and then it will tell me that in the last 24 hours I tried to open Snapchat 5 times and last used 3 hours ago. And then it will ask me if I actually want to go there. In the majority of times, I don't really want to go there. So I can just click I don't want to open Snapchat and it will automatically close it. Couple more apps on this page is Cinemark, where I get tickets for my movies. Then we have Expedia, Kindle, where I get books for my Kindle. As I said, I kind of a book nerd and I have a Kindle where I read my books at. So whenever I want to scroll through some books and figure out what I'm going to read next, I'm just going to go to Kindle on my phone and figure out what's the next book gonna be. Then we have Discord, which is the communication app. I don't really use it that much. We have Shazam. I know that people can recognize what music is playing through Snapchat or something else. I'm using Shazam because that's what I've always been using, so I don't really want to switch to anything else. We have Proton Mail, which is a really cool mail solution. I use Gmail for my main account. However, I would recommend everyone to have like a trash mailbox, so whenever you need a subscription to something to get some benefits, you can just give them your trash email. And that's why I have Proton Mail. It's absolutely free, and then I have an inbox and messages from Duolingo, Tome Team, Huel, etc, etc. So something I'm not really interested in. And the last page of my iPhone, I have Coinbase and Robinhood, where I keep my investments. I have DoorDash to deliver some food, McDonald's. TradingView is a platform I use to keep track of the market, so I have SPX here, Apple, etc, etc. Then we have LinkedIn, which is, everyone knows, it's kind of a business social media. We have Taco Bell. Not really sure why I have it here. We have a Join Frame here. Join Frame is the app that basically allows me to upload the pictures from my phone to the electronic frame that you can see right here. We have Starbucks, Chipotle, All the Clock, Office Extend, it's some of the work apps. We have a WeTransfer that allows you to send large files from your phone to somebody else's email, and it's gonna do it through the WeTransfer app, because sometimes you can't really attach big files to the email or something, so you can go to WeTransfer and ask them to send files to somebody else. We have Outlook, which is a work email. We have Uber, everyone knows what Uber is. I have PaySend. PaySend is something that I'm used to send money to someone abroad. Then we have Teams, Zoom, Mail, and micropayments. Micropayments is something I'm using for laundry. And then at the very end, it's a little widget of Duolingo that tells me that it's time to practice. So let's wrap up this video so I can go study some Spanish. So this was my iPhone setup. It's probably not perfect and there's definitely ways where I can improve, but it works for me now. I don't want to spend any more time doing that. I already put enough time here, and hopefully there were at least a couple of apps that you found interesting and you might want to try. However, a huge aspect of being productive lies in the fact that you can be productive with your computer just as much as with your phone. If you cannot sync these two together, you are just making your life so much harder. That being said, we made a full separate YouTube video about the top 13 apps that can skyrocket your productivity and organization skills. Go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.